The GCAC encounter. Their chance meeting at the Genoa City Athletic Club was charged with undeniable chemistry. The sparks that flew were a sharp contrast to the indifference Noah had previously claimed to feel for his toxic ex. The rescue ranger instinct. Noah, a classic Newman rescue ranger, like his father Nick, is drawn to women in distress. With Audra's life in tatters, jobless, without Nate Hastings, and now facing down a criminal conspiracy, she is the ultimate damsel for him to save. The very efforts of Kyle Abbott and Claire to destroy Audra may be the catalyst that drives Noah back to her, compelling him to be her hero. The Sienna problem. Noah is currently embroiled in a passionate, yet dangerous, affair with Sienna Bacall, who is the wife of the criminal Matt Clark, Mitch. The full, horrifying details of Audra and Holden's LA secret will undoubtedly involve Sienna and Matt. When Noah learns how deeply Sienna is tied to the criminal underworld and potentially the deadly cover-up, he may feel betrayed or, worse, realize she's a threat. This provides the perfect avenue for Noah to turn away from Sienna and toward Audra, the woman he once loved, whose predicament he feels responsible for or compelled to fix. A Newman revenge plot. Audra's history of being wronged by Victor Newman gives her a compelling motive to rekindle the flame. Dating Victor's grandson would be the ultimate payback, not to mention a devastating blow to the newly established Claire Grace Newman, who despises Audra. What starts as a scheme for Audra, however, may quickly evolve into genuine feelings as their past love and the shared trauma of the supposed miscarried child was undeniably real. The looming battle, Newman versus Abbott, Round 2. This complicated web of secrets and resurfacing passions is poised to trigger a massive inter-family feud, echoing the historic Newman-Abbott rivalry. Kyle's vengeance. Kyle Abbott, who has a history of his own with Audra, has teamed up with Claire to expose and destroy Audra. They are actively seeking the full truth about her past. Noah's defense. If Noah sides with Audra, becoming her protector and romantic partner, it will put him directly at odds with Kyle. Noah, protecting his renewed love versus Kyle, protecting his cousin/current flame Claire, will create a vicious cycle of animosity. The family dynamics. Nick and Sharon, already reeling from Noah's accident and his current questionable choices, will be horrified if he gets back with Audra, a woman they rightly view as manipulative and toxic. They will likely support Claire and Kyle's efforts, further polarizing Noah from his family. Conclusion. The stakes have never been higher. The revelation that Holden Novak is the one holding the most dangerous secret, a fatal cover-up in Los Angeles, is a masterful twist that elevates the entire storyline. Holden is in far deeper than Audra, changing the dynamic from a simple blackmail plot to a complex, shared criminal entanglement. This shocking secret, combined with the explosive chemistry between Noah and Audra, ensures that this storyline will be high engagement, unpredictable, and devastating. Will Holden be able to hold onto his new life with Claire while guarding a secret that could send him to prison? Will Audra successfully use Noah as a shield and a pawn in her schemes, or will genuine emotion ultimately take over? And how will the newfound Newman/Abbott alliance between Claire and Kyle survive when a Newman, in the form of Noah, steps up to defend the target? YNR spoilers next 2 weeks. Matt's murderous revenge, corporate catastrophe, and the bittersweet holiday excitement. The air in Genoa City is thicker than a December fog, laced with betrayal, high-stakes corporate warfare, and the chilling promise of deadly revenge. As we dive into the next 2 weeks of The Young and the Restless, spanning December 15th through December 26th, 2025, prepare for a relentless, shocking ride that will shake the foundation of the Newman and Abbott dynasties, culminating in a holiday that is anything but peaceful. The Dark Return. Matt Clark's murderous revenge plot. The saga of Matt Clark, Roger Howarth, currently operating as the sinister Mitch Bacall, is about to explode from a lingering threat into a full-blown crisis, far surpassing the Newmans' past encounters with him. Nick Newman's Joshua Morrow protective stance over Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, will be severely tested as Matt's return to Genoa City signals a new, horrifying level of vengeance. The target, Sienna Bacall and the Newman trap. Matt's primary target appears to be his estranged wife, Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun. After Noah Newman, Lucas Adams successfully convinced Sienna to stay in Genoa City despite the danger, Matt has followed, bringing the LA nightmare directly to the Newman ranch. But this isn't just about a jealous husband. Matt is a sociopath determined to reclaim what he believes is his, and that includes destroying anyone who stands in his way. The first week sees the drama escalating terrifyingly fast. Matt has enlisted a corrupt cop, Detective Annie Stewart, Catherine Kresge, to do his dirty work, explicitly ordering her to silence Sienna permanently. This move confirms that Matt is now fully immersed in a murderous revenge plot. Noah, fiercely protective of Sienna and perhaps still racked with guilt over their past entanglement, will do everything to shield her. But how far can one Newman go against a ruthless predator with law enforcement on his payroll? Nick and Sharon's dangerous showdown. Nick and Matt's rivalry, already a volatile mix of past history and present danger, will take a deadly turn on Friday, December 19th. Nick, fueled by his instinct to protect Sharon and his family, will undoubtedly clash with Matt. This is not a simple fistfight. The spoilers warn the conflict escalates to a dangerous new level, suggesting a potential life-or-death scenario. Given Matt's proven willingness to use a hired gun, both Nick and Sharon are in grave peril. The second week, December 22nd to 26th, hints at a possibility of the Newmans setting a trap for Matt. The question is, will Matt be cunning enough to evade it, or will the Newman clan finally put an end to his reign of terror? Sharon's nerves will be frayed, but her formidable resolve will kick in, refusing to let Matt destroy her life again. The specter of murder hangs over their Christmas, ensuring that even as the city celebrates, the Newman family is fighting for its very survival. Corporate catastrophe. The Jabot/Newman war erupts. If the personal drama wasn't enough, the corporate battlefield of Genoa City explodes as Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, unleashes a devastating assault against Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, and Jabot. The long-simmering rivalry reaches a fever pitch, involving stolen AI, double-crossing subordinates, and a catastrophic launch party. Victor's vengeful coup and Adam's choice. The week of December 15th kicks off with Victor ordering Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, to put a new, vengeful plot against Jack into motion. Using Newman media, Adam is tasked with turning Jabot's shutdown, Jack's defensive move to counter Victor's stolen AI, into a scandalous story, portraying Jack as incompetent and questioning Jabot's future. Victor sees this as a decisive win, reveling in his triumph on Tuesday, December 16th. However, this victory comes at a cost. Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, is furious at her husband's ruthless tactics, once again pushing the tension in their marriage to a breaking point. Simultaneously, Chelsea Lawson, Melissa Claire Egan, confronts Adam, accusing him of going rogue and blindly following Victor's destructive commands. Adam's loyalty is now torn. Does he serve the mustache's vendetta, or does he listen to the woman he loves and the fragile stability of their family? The corporate war is dragging personal relationships through the mud. Billy and Sally's scramble for damage control. The launch party for Abbott Communications, spearheaded by Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, and Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, is supposed to be a celebratory moment. Instead, Victor's vengeful strike causes an unexpected turn on Monday, December 15th, leaving Billy and Sally scrambling to do urgent damage control on Tuesday. The full extent of Victor's corporate sabotage isn't yet known, but the fallout is immediate and severe, making their new venture look like a costly disaster. In a shocking development on Thursday, December 18th, Billy is forced to make a deal with the devil, Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford. The details of their agreement are murky, but it likely involves using Phyllis's skills to spy on or outright sabotage Victor's operations, perhaps even to retrieve the stolen AI program. Given Phyllis's volatile nature and Kane Ashby's, Billy Flynn, recent history with her, This alliance is a ticking time bomb. Jack's fierce counterattack. Jack Abbott, reeling from Victor's attack, is anything but defeated. On Wednesday, December 17th, he begins planning his counterattack. He holds Adam and Chelsea accountable for their role in the Newman campaign, and, in a brilliant move on Friday, December 19th, he decides to hit Victor where it hurts most, his marriage. Jack will interfere with Victor and Nikki's relationship, using Nikki's rage over Victor's actions to his advantage. Furthermore, Diane Jenkins Abbott Susan Walters, in a sign of serious concern, turns to the one man who knows Victor's legal maneuvers best, Michael Baldwin Christian LeBlanc, to seek a way to legally counter the mustache. Holiday excitement and intrigue, alliances, affairs, and awkwardness. Amidst the chaos, Genoa City attempts to celebrate the holiday season, but the personal dramas are far too consuming to allow for true peace and joy. The Audra-Claire-Kyle tangle. The rivalry between Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, and Claire Newman, Haley Aaron, reaches a dramatic new stage. On Wednesday, December 17th, Claire and Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, solidify a clever alliance aimed squarely at taking Audra down. Kyle, who has a complicated, passionate history with Audra, is seemingly all in with Claire, but his motives remain suspect. This plot suggests a major shift in power is coming, one that could expose Audra's vulnerabilities or, conversely, backfire spectacularly. On Thursday, December 18th, Kyle takes a moment away from his scheme to send a message to Summer Newman, his ex-wife. Is this a warning about Victor's attacks potentially affecting Harrison? Or is he seeking her assistance in the Audra takedown? The hint of Summer's involvement suggests this scheme has layers and may have long-term repercussions beyond the immediate future. The Kane-Phyllis-Lily mess. Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, and Phyllis Summers' flirtation and rivalry continue to complicate matters. After a disastrous kiss Kane regrets, the two try to set boundaries on Monday, December 15th. However, the sight of Kane wooing Lily Winter's Crystal Khalil at the launch party fills Phyllis with bitter jealousy. Her emotional instability, combined with her new deal with Billy, ensures that she will be a wild card in the coming weeks, potentially blowing up both the Abbott Communications launch and Kane's attempts to reconcile with Lily. Christmas in Genoa City. The second week of spoilers confirms that Christmas will arrive in Genoa City. The festivities, however, will be a stark contrast to the ongoing turmoil. Nictor's heartfelt discussion. Victor and Nikki will attempt to come together to count their blessings and reflect on what truly matters during the holiday. This reflection, forced by Jack's interference and Nikki's anger over the Jabot attack, will be a moment of reckoning for the couple. Will Victor's ruthlessness finally be too much for the Black Knight to overcome? A doomed romance. The burgeoning romance between Noah and Sienna continues to blossom in the midst of Matt's deadly hunt. Spoilers question if their love is doomed to end in tragedy, suggesting that the Matt Clark storyline will leave a devastating emotional scar on Noah just as he finds new happiness. Final tally: shock and destruction. The next 2 weeks of The Young and the Restless are a relentless onslaught of action. Matt Clark's evolution from an antagonist to a murderous villain raises the stakes to the highest level of personal danger, threatening Nick and Sharon's lives and Noah's happiness. Simultaneously, the Victor/Jack corporate war will destroy financial stability and personal alliances, leaving Billy and Sally in a desperate battle for survival. Every major player is at risk. The holidays will not bring peace, but a dramatic intermission before the next wave of destruction. The chilling realization is that not everyone may survive Matt's final move, and the Newman/Abbott war is far from over. Get ready for Genoa City's most explosive holiday season unleashed. Victor Newman's shocking strike reignites Genoa City war. Genoa City is reeling this morning from a stunning corporate maneuver that has the entire business world and every resident with a stake in the town's bitterest rivalry, gasping for breath. Victor Newman, the indomitable patriarch of Newman Enterprises and a figure as complex and ruthless as the city he helped build, has struck a savage blow against his lifelong nemesis, Jack Abbott, and the entire Abbott empire. This is not merely another business feud. It is a full-scale corporate and personal war that has shattered alliances, exposed familial fault lines, and irrevocably changed the landscape of Genoa's city commerce. The intensity of this strike, executed with trademark Newman precision and ruthlessness, is today's most shocking headline. The calm before the storm, Abbott.com's doomed launch. The stage for the shocking confrontation was set at the highly anticipated Abbott Communications launch party, an event meant to celebrate a new, optimistic venture led by Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra. The atmosphere at the Jazz Lounge was initially electric, thick with the scent of success, new money, and the hopeful buzz of a new era. The entire Abbott clan, Jack, Diane, Kyle, and a cautiously supportive Billy, were basking in the moment, a rare display of unity after weeks of frantic preparation. What they didn't know was that Victor Newman, the Black Knight, was not just watching from the shadows. He was in a clandestine meeting at the Newman Ranch, orchestrating a devastating counterattack. Jack Abbott had made a bold, preemptive move to protect Jabot from Victor's acquisition of a stolen, highly damaging AI program, the same program Phyllis Summers had deceitfully handed over. Jack's defense was to temporarily shut down Jabot's digital infrastructure, making the AI attack moot. It was a brilliant, sacrificial play intended to neutralize Victor's most potent weapon. But Victor Newman, as always, proved he doesn't need one specific weapon when he possesses an entire arsenal, including his most volatile and brilliant asset, his son, Adam Newman, and the powerhouse platform of Newman Media. The digital detonation, Newman Media's hit piece. The moment of shock arrived not as a cyber attack, but as a media detonation. As Billy and Sally began their celebratory toast, every smartphone in the room simultaneously erupted with notifications. Newman Media, under Victor's express and ruthless direction, had just published a scathing, high-impact report. The headline, crafted to inflict maximum reputational damage, was brutal. Jabot's sudden shutdown, market collapse imminent? Inside Jack Abbott's desperate, flailing leadership. The article didn't just report on the shutdown. It twisted Jack's defensive measure into a catastrophic failure. It speculated wildly on the internal financial instability of Jabot, claiming the digital shutdown was a panic cover-up for depleted assets, corporate malfeasance, and an imminent, irreversible downfall. The effect was immediate and absolute. The atmosphere of celebration curdled into one of panic. Guests began whispering, checking stock tickers, and making frantic calls. The Abbott.com launch, the symbol of the family's future, was drowned out by the sound of the world reacting to the alleged collapse of its parent company. Victor, raising a celebratory glass of cognac with Adam and Michael Baldwin back at the ranch, saw his revenge delivered cold. He hadn't needed the AI. He had simply weaponized fear and doubt, using his media arm to turn Jack's smart defense into a devastating public liability. The family fallout, Adam's choice and Chelsea's ultimatum. The fallout from Victor's strike is not confined to the boardroom. The news has sent painful shockwaves directly through the Newman family, particularly impacting Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson. Adam, pulled away from the launch party by his father, was ordered to greenlight the hit piece, a move even Victor's consigliere, Michael Baldwin, advised against. Adam's compliance, driven by a complex, often self-destructive need for his father's approval, or perhaps a desperate desire to prove his own ruthlessness, has cost him dearly. Chelsea Lawson, who has struggled tirelessly to build a life of stability and integrity with Adam, was blindsided and furious. She saw Adam's actions not as a business necessity, but as a profound personal betrayal. In a gut-wrenching confrontation, Chelsea reportedly delivered a chilling ultimatum. Stop being Victor's henchman or lose her. This latest act of blind loyalty to his father has fractured the tenuous peace Adam had built, forcing him to confront the agonizing, decades-old question: can he ever truly escape the Black Knight's shadow? Meanwhile, Nikki Newman, Victor's wife and the one person who can sometimes, though rarely, curb his worst impulses, has been left seething. Having overheard parts of Victor's plotting, her failure to intervene has made her complicit in the eyes of others, especially her friend Jack Abbott. This latest display of Victor's ruthlessness against the man who literally saved her life years ago promises to ignite one of the most significant crises in the Victor and Nikki marriage in years, setting the stage for a massive confrontation where Jack may force Nikki to choose sides once and for all. The justice question: can Victor finally be held accountable? The immediate aftermath sees the Abbotts scrambling for damage control. Billy and Sally are desperately trying to salvage the AbbotCom launch, reassuring investors that the Jabot shutdown was a temporary, necessary defense against corporate espionage. But the damage is done. The bigger question looming over Genoa City is whether Victor Newman will, for once, face meaningful accountability. The AI crimes. Diane Jenkins, supported by Jack, is relentless in her pursuit of evidence to prove Victor's initial cybercrimes involving the stolen AI program. She's even turned to the morally flexible Michael Baldwin, Victor's own lawyer, for help, hoping he'll choose a higher moral ground this time. The libel threat. Jack is reportedly considering a massive lawsuit against Newman Media for libel, calling the explosive article unsubstantiated, inflammatory, and a clear act of malice. Such a suit would tie Newman Enterprises in knots for years and could finally pierce the seemingly impenetrable corporate armor of the mustache. The Kane factor. Adding fuel to the fire, Kane Ashby, the original creator of the stolen AI, is now a man scorned. Betrayed by both Phyllis and Victor, he has vowed vengeance and could become a key witness in any legal action against the Newman patriarch. Kane's desire to redeem himself and win back Lily's trust could lead him to drop shocking bombshells that seal Victor's fate. The residents of Genoa City, and the millions watching, are tired of Victor always winning. The online chatter is a chorus of frustration, with fans demanding that the writers allow the mustache to finally face a reckoning for his decades of brutal, manipulative behavior. His seemingly endless plot armor is wearing thin, and his current vendetta against Jack, a man he owes a debt of gratitude to, is seen as particularly egregious. Spoilers. Kyle's SOS message to Summer Newman. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, will send an urgent message to Summer Newman, Allison Lanier. Why is Kyle reaching out to his ex in Italy? Because he is certainly causing some alarm bells to go off. Things in Genoa City could get dangerous. Things in Genoa City could get more dangerous, and Harrison Abbott may end up in danger. Victor is set to go after Jabot, which has currently gone offline. The week of December 15th to 19th, Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, is used to turn the Jabot shutdown into a media frenzy. He will make it seem like Jabot has turned into a giant failure based on the negative press coverage. Summer's company, Marchetti, falls under the Jabot umbrella, so Kyle may feel the need to update Summer on what is going on, including her grandfather's decision to attack Jabot. Of course, there may be another reason that Kyle reaches out to Summer. Kyle may bring up the fact that he and Claire Newman, Haley Aaron, have teamed up to take down Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, and invite her to help. Summer Newman needs to know about Matt Clark. Summer has been out of the loop for a bit, and she may not have any idea that Matt Clark has been in touch. With Matt in town and considering his relationship to Victor Newman, Eric Braden, Kyle may feel that Harrison Abbott, Redding Munsell, might be better off with her in Italy instead of being in Genoa City at this time. Kyle is worried that his son may get caught in the crossfire if he is where Matt can get his hands on him and wants to protect his son. Kyle certainly doesn't want Harrison to be vulnerable because he is Victor's great-grandson. Will Summer agree and get their son out of town before he can get caught up in this horrible mess? Matt Clark doesn't care who he uses. Matt wants leverage against Victor, and he is not picky who that happens to be. Matt is not beyond using one of Victor's grandchild and Harrison, as well as Dominic Newman Abbott Winter's chancellor, Rain and River, where could both be in grave danger when it comes to Matt Clark. This guy is capable of anything. Will Kyle arrange for Harrison to go back to his mother before the danger is over? Does Kyle need to get in touch with Summer and some other important issue? Whatever the case, keep watching to see why Kyle reaches out to his ex-wife during this time. YNR spoilers. Kyle's desperate SOS message to Summer Newman. A child safety hangs in the balance. Genoa City burns. The unholy alliance, corporate sabotage, and the terrifying threat that unites Kyle. Genoa City is reeling, but nothing could prepare us for the bombshell that just dropped across the Atlantic. In a move that has sent shockwaves from the Newman Ranch to the Abbott Mansion, Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, has reached out to his ex-wife, Summer Newman, Allison Lanier, who is currently seeking solace and space in Italy. But this is no casual check-in. This is a 5-alarm fire, a chilling SOS message that has ripped open old wounds and forced the estranged couple to confront a nightmare far bigger than their messy divorce or Kyle's burgeoning romance with Claire Newman, Haley Aaron. For months, the love triangle between Kyle, Summer, and Claire has been the city's favorite gossip. Yet, in a horrifying twist of fate, their personal drama is about to be eclipsed by a colossal, life-altering threat. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of December 15th to 19th are promising absolute mayhem, pitting the Abbotts against Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, in a war that has spiraled wildly out of control and bringing the monstrous Matt Clark aka Mitch Bacall back into the spotlight. The question isn't if Genoa City will explode, it's when and who will be caught in the blast. And all signs point to the most vulnerable target of all, Harrison Abbott, Redding Munsell. The crumbling facade, Jabot's downfall, and Victor's vengeance. The initial trigger for Kyle's urgent plea is undoubtedly the corporate carnage unfolding back home. The Abbotts, specifically Jack, Peter Bergman, and Billy, Jason Thompson, believed they had secured a victory by taking Jabot offline to thwart Victor's devastating AI attack. They celebrated too soon. Victor, the mustache of mayhem, doesn't just adapt, he retaliates with cold, calculated fury. He ordered Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, to use Newman Media to launch a scathing, immediate hit piece. This wasn't just a subtle jab, it was a character assassination campaign, turning Jabot's proactive shutdown into a public relations catastrophe. The media firestorm. The news breaks during a high-profile industry event, making the Abbotts look like incompetent fools who drove their flagship company into the ground. Stock prices are plummeting. Client confidence is shattered. Marchetti's entanglement. Crucially, Summer's current professional sanctuary, Marchetti, operates under the Jabot umbrella. Her Italian escape was meant to shield her from the drama, but the fallout has followed her across continents. She is now an executive trapped in the debris of a corporate nuclear war. This is the professional crisis Kyle must first address. He needs to coordinate a media defense for Marchetti, and who better to do that with than the woman who is actually there. Kyle's initial message may start with an email subject line like, "Urgent, Marchetti fallout, need your eyes on this now." But beneath the layers of corporate jargon, the true, deeply personal fear is already bubbling to the surface. The true danger, Matt Clark and the scapegoat strategy. The Jabot War is merely the backdrop for the truly horrific event that necessitates an SOS. The spiraling threat posed by the unhinged, vengeance-seeking Matt Clark. Matt, who also goes by Mitch Bacall, has one goal: to inflict maximum, soul-crushing pain on the Newman family. He is seeking leverage, and he has proven to be a man capable of anything. The Newman clan, Nick Joshua Morrow, Sharon Case, Noah Lucas Adams, and Victoria Amelia Heinley, are all in his sights. But as the Abbotts and Newmans are inextricably linked, the danger widens. Summer is a Newman by birthright, and critically, Harrison Abbott is Victor's great-grandson and Summer's adoptive son. This is where Kyle's initial urgent message must escalate into a desperate plea. The message transition from CEO to terrified father. Imagine the scene, Kyle perhaps hiding in his office or whispering on a burner phone, his composure cracking after seeing the latest news about Matt's escalating activities, perhaps a kidnapping attempt on Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun, or an aggressive standoff with Nick. He realizes Harrison, who is currently in Genoa City, is an exposed flank. The professional email melts away, replaced by a raw, immediate text message or voice note to Summer in Italy. Kyle, text message, the Jabot stuff is bad, but that's not why I'm texting. It's Matt. He's completely unhinged, hitting the Newmans. Harrison is a target. He's Victor's blood, Summer. I need to get him out. I need your agreement. I need you to take him to Italy now. It's the only place he's safe. Please, Summer. This is a message that will shatter Summer's carefully constructed peace. The urgency isn't about their co-parenting agreement or even their lingering feelings for each other. It is about the survival of their son. The Italian sanctuary, a difficult reunion, and a shared fear. Summer's reaction will be immediate and visceral. She fled Genoa City to get away from the conflict, only to have the worst possible conflict follow her. The idea of Matt Clark even looking in Harrison's direction will propel her into action. The dilemma of the SOS. The ex-wife factor. Summer is in Italy, miles away from the chaos. While she has her own issues with Kyle and is trying to move on, she is a mother first. Kyle sending an SOS signals a level of genuine, gut-wrenching terror that she won't be able to ignore. The Claire complication. The mere act of Kyle reaching out to Summer, begging her to take their son away, will send Claire Newman into a jealous spiral. Claire has been trying to fit into Kyle's life and be a mother figure to Harrison, but this move fundamentally excludes her. She will see this as Summer using Harrison to manipulate Kyle back into her orbit, confirming her worst fears about Kyle bonding over their child. Will this drive Claire to make a rash, self-destructive decision? The co-parenting power play. Summer will likely agree to take Harrison, but she won't do it without a fight. She'll demand details, asking why Kyle hasn't gone to Jack or the police. She'll question his judgment, maybe even throwing his relationship with Claire in his face. Yet, the gravity of the SOS will override all of this. For the first time in a long time, Kyle and Summer will be on the exact same page, united by a primal need to protect their child. The triple threat: Harrison's escape, Audra's takedown, and Kyle's undeniable bond. Kyle's motives are complex. While his primary concern is Harrison, he is also heavily involved in a secretive, high-stakes plot with Claire to take down Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver. Audra's takedown. The plan to expose Audra is already in motion. Will Kyle see a dual benefit to his SOS? If he sends Harrison to Italy with Summer, he not only protects his son, but potentially gains a third, highly resourceful ally. Summer is a Newman, privy to certain secrets, and with connections that could prove invaluable in dealing with the Victor-fueled corporate war and the Audra situation. Could his SOS include a cryptic call to action? I need you to protect Harrison, and I need your eyes on Audra. She's involved in this mess. The rekindling spark. Let's be honest, Kyle fans are already bracing for a reunion. When two people are forced to face a life-or-death crisis involving their child, old feelings don't just fade, they ignite. The shared fear, the whispered late-night calls coordinating Harrison's travel, the undeniable relief when he is safe in Italy, all of this will create an intense, emotional bond. They will hold hands, not in romantic passion, but in terrified solidarity, and that connection is often stronger than any romantic spark. The spoilers hint at Kyle and Summer sharing a moment of familiar comfort, and this SOS is the perfect mechanism for that. In a world of corporate backstabbing and psychopaths, the only person Kyle truly trusts to keep Harrison safe is Summer. And the only person Summer truly trusts to be the level-headed father is Kyle. The aftermath: a devastated Claire and a reckoning for Kyle. The fallout from the SOS will be immediate and catastrophic for Kyle's current relationship. Claire will see Kyle sending their son to be with his ex-wife in a foreign country as the ultimate betrayal. She will feel rejected and replaced, her fears about Summer's lasting influence fully realized. This could drive her to self-destruct. Will she go rogue on the Audra plan, trying to prove her worth to Kyle by exposing Audra alone, only to put herself in danger? Seek solace in the wrong arms. Will she turn to someone else, perhaps Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, who has been a protector of sorts, or even someone darker, for comfort and validation? Kyle, having put Harrison's safety above all else, will have a massive reckoning waiting for him when his son is gone. He'll be left to face a heartbroken Claire and the lingering realization that his deepest, most primal loyalty still lies with the first woman he built a family with. The SOS to Summer Newman is not just a plea for help. It's a terrifying sign that the game in Genoa City has changed. The corporate wars and the personal vendettas have crossed a line, and a child's safety is the price of admission. Get ready, YNR fans, because this is going to be the most explosive holiday season in years.